in a quiet village surrounded by trees and singing birds, lived a boy named Emmanuel. He was just 10 years old, with big brown eyes and a heart full of dreams. But life at home was not sweet. Emmanuel lived with his father, Papa John, and his stepmother, Mama Linda. His real mother had passed away when he was just a baby. He didn't remember her, but he often looked at her picture, smiling and holding him as a baby. Mama Linda was not kind to Emmanuel. She had a daughter named Titi, who was 1 year younger than Emmanuel. She treated Titi like a princess. She gave her the biggest food, the best clothes, and the warmest bed. But Emmanuel, he was made to sleep on a mat near the kitchen. His clothes were old and torn, and his food was always the smallest. "Why do I always eat the burnt rice?" Emmanuel asked one day. Mama Linda frowned. "Because you're not my child. Be thankful I even feed you." Titi laughed. "You're just a servant, Emmanuel." Emmanuel didn't say a word. He looked at his plate, ate quietly, and went outside to sit under the mango tree. He always talked to the tree because it listened. "I wish Mama was here," he whispered. "I wish someone would love me." Every day, Emmanuel helped with all the chores, fetching water, washing plates, cleaning the compound. Titi never did any work. She would even mess the floor and tell Mama Linda, "Emmanuel did it." Then Mama Linda would beat Emmanuel. One night, Papa John returned from the city. He worked far away and only came home once a month. "My son," he called, hugging Emmanuel tightly. Emmanuel smiled for the first time in many days, but Mama Linda quickly told lies. "He is stubborn, very lazy. I'm tired of him." Papa John looked at Emmanuel. "Is that true, my boy?" Emmanuel looked down. "No, Papa, I work every day." But Papa John was tired. He didn't want to argue. "I'll talk to him later," he said, and went inside to rest. One Sunday afternoon, Mama Linda and Titi went to church. Emmanuel stayed behind to finish washing clothes. Just then, an old man passed by the gate, looking tired and hungry. It was Grandpa Moses, the village storyteller. His clothes were torn and he had no shoes. "Please, young boy," he said, "do you have water?" Emmanuel quickly ran to get a cup of clean water. He added a piece of yam he had hidden under the stone near the kitchen. "Here, Grandpa," he said with a smile. Grandpa Moses looked surprised. "You are kind. Many children throw stones at me." "I don't have much," Emmanuel said, "but I know what it feels like to be hungry." The old man looked deep into Emmanuel's eyes. "You are special. One day, this kindness will return to you like a river after rain." He smiled, blessed Emmanuel, and slowly walked away. That evening, Mama Linda found out Emmanuel gave food to the old man. "You gave our food to that useless beggar?" she shouted. "Are you mad?" She beat him so hard that night that he had to sleep outside. But under the stars, Emmanuel looked up and smiled. "One day," he whispered, "God will lift me." A few days later, Emmanuel's slippers broke while he was going to school. The sole came off and the strap tore. Children laughed at him on the way. "Look at his feet," one boy shouted. "Is he coming from the bush?" another teased. Emmanuel kept walking, his head down, feet sore from the hot sand. At school, he sat quietly in a class. He loved learning. He listened carefully and wrote with care, even though his pencil was very short. After school, the teacher, Mr. Ocon, called him. "Emmanuel, why are your feet bare?" "My slippers broke, sir," he said, "and your parents didn't fix them." He shook his head. Mr. Ocon sighed. "Come to my office." Inside the small office, Mr. Ocon gave Emmanuel a used pair of shoes. "They are old, but they'll protect your feet." Tears filled Emmanuel's eyes. "Thank you, sir." "Study hard," Mr. Ocon said. "One day you will go far." That night, Emmanuel showed the shoes to Mama Linda. "You went around begging again," she yelled. "I didn't beg," he said. My teacher gave them to me. She threw the shoes outside. You'll wear banana leaves if you want to walk. Emmanuel picked up the shoes quietly and hid them under his mat. It was rainy season. The sky was dark and water poured from the heavens. Papa John had gone back to the city and Mama Linda was sick with fever. But still, she sent Emmanuel to the market. Buy pepper and onions, she said, and don't come back without change. Emmanuel wore his thin shirt and ran with a small umbrella. At the market, he bought what she asked for and wrapped it in a nylon bag. But as he was walking back, thunder cracked and a car splashed mud all over him. He slipped and fell, twisting his ankle. Ouch! He cried, holding his leg. Some people walked by, no one stopped. He sat in the rain, cold and hurt, until someone came with an umbrella. It was Dr. Grace, a young woman who had just opened a small clinic in the village. Hey there, are you all right? She asked. I fell, Emmanuel said, shivering. Come with me. She helped him into her car and took him to her clinic. She cleaned his wound, gave him warm soup and dry clothes. What's your name? She asked. Emmanuel, she smiled. You're brave, Emmanuel, and polite too. Before he left, she said, if you ever need help, come here. It was the first time in a long time someone showed him care. At school, Mr. Ocon asked the class to draw what they wanted to be in the future. Emmanuel picked up his pencil and drew a big hospital with many rooms, and people smiling as they got better. On the building, he wrote, Emmanuel's Hospital of Hope. Mr. Ocon looked at the drawing and smiled. You want to be a doctor? Emmanuel nodded. I want to help poor people like me. Later that day, Mr. Ocon visited Dr. Grace. This boy is special, he said, but his home is not safe. Dr. Grace thought for a while. Bring him to my clinic every weekend. I'll teach him things. And so it began. Every Saturday, Emmanuel cleaned her clinic. In return, she taught him about medicine, kindness, and how to use a computer. At home, Mama Linda noticed his joy. Where do you go every weekend? She asked. To help at the clinic. You better not be planning to run away, she warned. Emmanuel just smiled. He was no longer the scared boy under the mango tree. Something in him had changed. One evening, Papa John returned from the city looking worried. He sat Emmanuel down. My son, he said, I want you to go stay with your uncle in town. He will help you go to secondary school. Emmanuel's eyes widened. Me? Leave the village? Mama Linda jumped in. No, he should stay here and help me with work. Papa John shook his head. He is growing. He must go to school. Mama Linda was angry, but she could not say no. 2 weeks later, Emmanuel packed a small bag with his books, worn clothes, and Mama's old picture. He hugged Papa John tightly and left for the city with his uncle, Mr. Felix. His heart was heavy but full of hope. City life was strange to Emmanuel. Tall buildings, noisy cars, and too many people. His uncle's house was small but kind. Here, we work hard and study harder, Uncle Felix said. Emmanuel went to a government school. The classrooms were crowded and the books were old. But he loved it. He studied late into the night, reading by candlelight. He swept, washed plates, and cooked with his cousins. But they treated him like family, not like a servant. One day, Emmanuel saw a poster outside school. Essay competition, My Dream for My Country. Winner gets full scholarship. He went home and wrote his heart out. He wrote about his village, about poor children, about becoming a doctor to bring hope. A month later, a teacher came into class smiling. Emmanuel, she shouted, you won. Everyone clapped. That day, Emmanuel cried tears of joy. Thanks to the scholarship, Emmanuel went to a special boarding school. He wore a new uniform. He had 3 meals a day. He even had his own bed. Every weekend, he wrote letters to Papa John. I miss you, Papa. I will make you proud. But he never heard from Mama Linda. She never called, never asked. That didn't stop Emmanuel. He studied hard. He joined the health club and science team. Everyone called him Doctor-to-be. One evening, during career day, a woman visited the school. It was Dr. Grace. She stared at Emmanuel. "You look familiar," she said. "I'm Emmanuel, from the village. You helped me when I fell in the rain." She smiled wide. "I remember you. I'm so proud." That day, Dr. Grace gave him a laptop. "This will help you dream bigger," she said. And Emmanuel did. Back in the village, things were not well. Papa John had a bad accident at work and was very ill. He could no longer send money. Mama Linda cried every day. Her small shop was empty. Titi, now a teenager, became sick too. They had no money for hospital, no money for food. People they once ignored now turned away from them. Mama Linda regretted her ways. "Oh, what have I done?" she wept. "If only I had treated Emmanuel like a son." Then one day, a white jeep drove into the village. People gathered to look. Out came a tall young man, well-dressed, smiling. It was Emmanuel. He walked straight to his father's house. Mama Linda rushed out, shocked. "Emmanuel, is that you?" He looked at her kindly. "Yes, Mama, I came to help." She fell to her knees. "I'm sorry, I was wicked. Please forgive me." Emmanuel helped Papa John to the jeep. "I'm taking him to the city for treatment," he said. He turned to Mama Linda. "You and Titi will come too. I've already paid for a good hospital." Mama Linda wept. "You don't have to do this." "Yes, I do," Emmanuel said, "because Mama taught me to love, even when it hurts." In the city, doctors treated Papa John. Titi got well again. Emmanuel paid for everything. One day, Mama Linda entered his room, tears in her eyes. "Thank you for saving us. I didn't deserve your love." Emmanuel smiled. "I did it for Papa and for myself. Hate makes hearts heavy. I choose peace." She hugged him. For the first time, it was a mother's hug. Years passed, and Emmanuel finished university with top honors. He was now a young doctor. He wore a white coat, a stethoscope around his neck, and a gentle smile. People in the hospital respected him. His story had spread. From village boy to village hero. Dr. Grace visited him at work. "You've made it, Emmanuel," she said. "I'm just starting," he smiled. "There are more people to help." He sent money home every month. Papa John was now strong again. Mama Linda helped in the church. Titi was studying nursing. One weekend, Emmanuel visited his old village. Children ran behind him, shouting, "Dr. Emmanuel! Dr. Emmanuel!" At the community hall, he stood before the crowd. "I want to build something here," he said. The chief asked, "What will it be?" "A hospital," Emmanuel said, "for everyone, rich or poor." The village cheered. Emmanuel called it Hospital of Hope. It was the same name he wrote in his school drawing long ago. The hospital had bright walls, clean beds, and smiling nurses. It was the best thing the village had ever seen. He hired doctors, nurses, even Titi, now grown and kind. One day, Mama Linda stood at the gate of the hospital holding a pot of soup. Emmanuel came out. "Mama, why are you here?" "I want to cook for your patients," she said. "Please let me serve." He nodded. "You are welcome here." She cried tears of joy. She had changed, no longer proud, no longer cruel. She became known in the hospital as Mama Soup. Patients loved her. One day, Emmanuel visited his old school with books, shoes, and uniforms. The students cheered. He walked into Mr. Ocon's class. "Do you remember me, sir?" Mr. Ocon stood, eyes wide. "Emmanuel!" They hugged tight. "You planted a seed in me," Emmanuel said. "Now I'm planting seeds for others." He gave scholarships to 10 students. "If you study hard," he said, "the world will open for you." One boy raised his hand. Dr. Emmanuel, were you ever afraid? Yes, he smiled, but I never gave up, even when it hurt. One night, a rich man came to the hospital. He wanted to buy the land. I'll pay you millions, he told Emmanuel. Emmanuel looked around at the patients, children, old people, mothers. No, he said, this place is not for sale, it's for saving lives. The man laughed. You'll regret this. But Emmanuel stood firm. Later that week, the man spread lies about the hospital. Inspectors came, they asked questions, they tried to shut it down. Mama Linda was worried. What will we do? Nothing, Emmanuel said. The truth will fight for us. Dr. Grace and the village chief stood with him. They told the inspectors the truth. The hospital passed every test. The rich man left, ashamed. Emmanuel stayed. One afternoon, Emmanuel sat under the mango tree where he used to cry as a child. Now, children laughed and played around it. Mama Linda sat beside him, peeling oranges. I was so wicked, she whispered. I'm sorry again. Emmanuel smiled. You've changed, Mama. That's what matters. Just then, a small boy came running. Dr. Emmanuel, there's a new baby in the hospital. Emmanuel stood up. Let's go see the future, he said. As they walked, the wind blew gently through the tree. It was no longer the tree of tears. Now it was the golden tree of hope. Years later, Emmanuel had become a well-known doctor across the country. People came from far and wide to see the village boy who built a hospital. Newspapers wrote about him, TV stations told his story. But Emmanuel didn't care about fame. He still walked through the hospital every morning, smiling at patients, helping nurses, and comforting mothers. One rainy evening, he sat beside Papa John, now an old man with silver hair. I'm proud of you, my son, Papa said. Emmanuel held his father's hand. I did it because of the pain and the love you gave me. Mama Linda entered with warm tea. She had changed completely. The villagers now called her Mama Emmanuel. She looked at him and said, You gave me a second chance. I will thank God every day for that. Later that night, Emmanuel stood again under the mango tree. He looked at the sky, full of stars. I have one more gift, he whispered. The next morning, a signboard was placed outside the hospital. It read, Emmanuel's Foundation for Forgotten Children. Free education, food and care for orphans and the poor. He had used his savings to open a school and home for children who had no one to love them, children like he once was. At the opening ceremony, he stood before a crowd, his voice strong and calm. I was once a boy with no shoes, no voice, and no love. But someone believed in me. Now I believe in every child. If you are hurting, don't give up. Your story is not over. You are not forgotten. Tears filled the eyes of many. Children clapped. Mama Linda held his hand tightly. And as the sun rose behind the mango tree, Emmanuel smiled. He had turned pain into purpose. He had chosen love. And he had become a hero, not with power, but with kindness. Thanks for watching Yarn Exclusive, where every story is woven with truth, drama, and a little twist of fate. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got more exclusive stories coming your way, only on Yarn Exclusive.